All right. Hello, YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. I am joined with my 10-month mastermind client, Madison. Madison is a heavy hitter. And when I say she's a heavy hitter, she is a heavy hitter. She is incredibly hardworking. And not only is she hardworking, but she was able to collapse time in just 6 to 7 months. And this is something that we've never seen before. I mean, the work that she has got done is legendary. It is legendary status. And she deserves to be honored, recognized, and celebrated for her work. So, Madison, can you please introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Madison Valdez. I own the company Logo URL. So we are a research consulting house specializing in research and development for founders and investors.
And she is incredible at it. You guys go check out her work. I will pin her social medias in description because she is absolutely incredible. And again, Madison, thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate it. And from my heart to yours, thank you for just doing the work. Thank you for being exactly who you are and creating this beautiful company of yours. It is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's start with number one. Who were you in November before joining the 10-month mastermind?
Um, I was just a person with an idea.
Wow.
I think, we've been working together for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like in those stages, I still was in like making my idea at the time come to life and it was becoming,
Mm-hmm.
materialized. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of where I am now, it's completely different. So yeah, I was just a person with an idea I was just moving in that direction, like making this idea
Mm-hmm.
real. And we've talked about this like recently,
Mm-hmm.
but I think when you're on track of like building your dream life, there's some type of you can be a little bit naive to what you're actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that time, like, yes, I was a person with an idea, but I was also like very brave in the steps that I was making, like, registering my LLC without even having my first client, trademarking my company without even having a first client, like all those things. I was just like, I have
Mm-hmm.
to do these things because the me in the next year like has her things all settled. Like I have to do this now. So it was like I was preparing myself for now, but without realizing like what was in between that. So that's really who I was at the time, like not really knowing
Mm-hmm.
where things were going to go, but making all the steps to to be kind of where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, like with all the faith in the world, but still like um
Mm-hmm.
not knowing exactly how things were going to unfold. And I was just trusting really the process at the time, you know. And I think reflecting back, like what I see now is how every little, like all the efforts that I made at that time, have accumulated now to what I'm doing at this moment, and really equip me for the type of like business I'm running now. And it's just like a merging of worlds at this point.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? This is something that I love about you is you're so present. You are so incredibly present. And I think that you are amazing at that, where you have a way at preparing for the future without even realizing it because you're so present. And I think when the future comes, it's like it's inevitable instead of I have to plan for it now.
Mhm.
I have to hurry up and plan. You instead take on the philosophy of I am so present. I embed myself into what's going on right now to the point where when the future comes, it's not even really a shocker to what unfolds because we were so busy building in the present moment, the future had to align.
Mhm. Literally. And I think that's what I do now. Like even with the work I do now, like I'm like I know that if what I'm working on now doesn't happen at the moment, I think it's gonna happen when it does. I'm going to be satisfied because I know I prepared myself. And the same thing, like when you get to like things simple as that, like a LLC trademark, like people, those are like an afterthought for people. Like for me, I'm like, no, I have to do this now because who knows
Mm-hmm.
in a year if I'm gonna have time for that, or if someone, there's so many things that can happen.
So many
So
things.
I was like, nah, like let me do all this now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, like from there to now, is like night and day, but I wouldn't expect anything less of myself either. Even now,
Wow.
even looking at
Mm-hmm.
where I am now, I'm like, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
expect anything less. And even in another year from now, like, did you know
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna happen? Like, I did know it was gonna happen. I just didn't know how.
Yeah, you didn't know how. And you've always been like that. You've always knew how my life is going to be big. You always knew
Mhm.
that. You always knew that. And I think by next year, it's going to be even incredible. I think that where we are now, if you are doing all this stuff now, next year, Madison, it's going to be so grand. It's going to be like you're going to be like, "Oh my God." Because I always say, y'all know what I always say. It always comes faster than you realize. It
Mm-hmm.
always do. It always comes faster than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that you have been the testimony of that because to literally go from November to now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure you was like, I knew it was gonna come, but this fast, it always comes faster.
Mm-hmm. And not even in this way, but there's so many things have changed, like mentally, emotionally, financially,
Hmm.
so many things. But it's like almost like happened in the blink of an eye. But I do remember who I was at that time. But now,
Hmm.
that I see where I am now, I'm like, wow, all those little steps matter. I think people want to
It did.
rush and
Wow.
be like, like I want this, I want that, I want to travel, I want to do whatever. It's like you have no clue that like those little tasks that you do on a daily basis or things you write or things you watch, like those things add up and like they add up to the person you're becoming. So all those things are very important. Like if anyone is starting out and like not realizing or feeling that where they're at like doesn't matter
Mhm.
and that like they just want to rush to the top or whatever, like that's not how things work. Like all those
Wow.
small things you're doing, like they're all going to help you, and you don't know when they're going to help you until you're faced with like a client or a situation when you're like, oh, I could use this tool that I've been using
Hmm.
forever. So every little thing truly adds to
Hmm.
your process, and it really is important.
It's so important. And I hope y'all listen to that. That was incredible, incredible knowledge and wisdom. It all adds up. And I think that is so important in entrepreneur space to reiterate because oftentimes people they jump 10 steps ahead. And it's the lack of a it's the lack of a it's what's the word? It's the lack of attention to detail that messes people up at the end. It's the you get to the top but the top can feel overbearing because on your way up, you forgot these small little itty bitty parts that you probably bypassed because who cares about that? But that was actually the foundation. That was actually the foundation.
Hmm. Yeah, like I'm seeing that right now unfold. Like
Hmm.
foundation contributes to the whole.
Hmm. 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 And one thing that you're great at, Madison, is helping entrepreneurs create that foundation. You're
Mm-hmm.
so great at that. Your attention to detail is what created this massive success.
They say the devil's in the details.
Yes, yes, yes. So the second question I have is, how did you step into high ticket only global sales authority starting from zero? Now, let me say this. High ticket only business model is such I want to say a faith driven business model, but it's such a high level expert business model. That business, and then for you to just go like right in, like I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want.
Hmm.
Tell me what was the shift, the thought process, the mindset behind that? A lot of people want to do high ticket only. So if you could coach anyone from this audience on premium sales, building a high ticket only business model, walk us through that process with how it started with you.
Oof. Well, number one, you just like touched it, so I'll say something to that. Like I wouldn't be here without God, period. If you're
Wow.
like, well, how does medicine do this? Like none of
Mm-hmm.
none of this, my writing, nothing, my videos, none of those things come from just me. Like it comes from God,
Mm-hmm.
number one. So that's one thing. Like if everyone's like, if you want to know where I'm coming from or like where my strength comes from, everything comes from God. Everybody knows that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have faith, you know that. So that's one. But for me, where I was when I made that transition, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have another option. I didn't
Wow.
have another option. It was like you need to figure out your life right now because you're in a situation. So what are you going to do? Everybody knows that when you're under some type of pressure, you have to get creative immediately. Like you can't be like, I'm gonna think about it. I didn't have time to think, so I had to think fast to be like, what are you gonna do right now, to get yourself out of a situation? And I think I to move into that world, it didn't take me to I didn't have to pressure anybody into doing anything. I didn't have to like smooth talk nobody. None of that had to happen. It was just me fully showing up and being like, this is what I can present you with. This is
Mm.
what I can provide you with. And that's it. Take it or leave it. If that didn't
Wow.
work at the time, I have to find another way. And that just really set the tone for one, what I'm capable of, and knowing
Mm-hmm.
that people accept the price
Mm-hmm.
for helping them in the most simplest terms.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I'm sure people have experienced this. Like, when someone is about to make a decision to buy something at such a level,
Mm-hmm.
like you talk them through it, and
Mm-hmm.
they agree, right? But I think the magic is really when you work with people, and also like when they see uh, how far they've come too
Mm-hmm.
after. So that is the magic part for me. So even after that, and then having other conversations with
Mm-hmm.
more prospects, more clients, that just became my standard. I'm like, I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you my energy. Like, and this is research. Research is like that time and energy is irreplaceable. I cannot get it back.
Yes.
So you put a price to that, and it's important to me. Like it's important for me to help you and exceed your expectations because you obviously have.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very clear in my delivery when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
giving clients what they want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
everything like from top to bottom, like it's full service, and I make that super super apparent. So the transition was one, it came out of necessity, but also it was purposeful. Like I think
Wow.
times where people can get very hesitant or skeptical is when
Mm-hmm.
like your value is not translated. And I think
Mm-hmm.
all my experience, I've never had when I've really worked with people, they've never said like, I regret this, or like, people say things like that, or
Mm-hmm.
this wasn't worth it. I've never gotten that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. So it's just like I take my work very seriously, number one. I have
Mm-hmm.
many standards for myself. I'm very strict when it comes to what I told you I'm going to give you, and then the delivery,
Mm-hmm.
exceeding those expectations, and just have
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. Like, it's like if I have a client or someone comes to me with their situation, their
Mm-hmm.
problem, whatever, like I know how to assess, what they're going through. I know what I'm capable of. Like I'm very secure.
Wow.
And so it's really no thing to be like, here, this is what I can provide you with, take it or leave it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, like I don't feel like I have to push anybody to do it, to make any type of decision. Either you are going to
Mm-hmm.
praise your problem or be invited to a solution. Like it's up to you.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
for me, like the transition was inevitable, and it
Mm-hmm.
just set me up for now, like what I do now, the standards I uphold, and
Mm-hmm.
like the promises, I keep to myself and to my clients.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to happen this way. Like I really don't see any other option. Like there's no other option. Like you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
and especially like living in New York, here like everybody has high standards. Everybody is like
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not the elite, you think you are. You know what I mean? That's just the attitude and
Mm-hmm.
character people have.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just like if you want to swim with the big sharks, you have to become one. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean be rude or be funny, but just be about your work. And I think it's just so clear. Like if you read what I write, if you even have a conversation with me, like it's like we're getting to the bottom of whatever you have going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is real work. Work is work.
I love that. And one thing I love that you mentioned, Madison, was the clarity. Clarity. I think it is so important when you are building a high ticket business. You have to have clarity. No, we talk about 10K to 100K clients on demand. That takes immense clarity. That takes immense clarity. And I think that's something that you do well at is clarity. Making yourself, I remember you saying in our sessions once, you had said something about how you wrote something down on your Instagram because you asked yourself one day, how clear can you get?
Yeah.
How clear can I make um how clear can I make how clear can I make business research? Because
Hmm.
oftentimes people have questions around that. And
Hmm.
so I think it was such a powerful business move to ask yourself, how clear can I get?
Yeah. And it's just no joke. Like if you cannot, I'll explain what it was. It was just explaining
Hmm.
who we are, what we deliver, and what our solution is. If people cannot go to your page and just get that answer, you are being irresponsible. 100%.
Ooh.
Why am I even gonna read anything else on your page or even follow you if I cannot read that? That
Ooh.
that that's so disrespectful. Like you expect people to now
Mm.
go around the block and whatever to find what you do. That's something you should just give. That's not an issue. Like I think people have a problem with just saying what they do. And I've had many conversations with people and be like,
Mm.
can you answer those three questions? And they can't. I'm like, okay, that's why you are where you are.
And
We
you
don't
know what? That is so powerful because you said I had so many conversations with people and they can't even answer that question.
I'm like, I don't care that you have
Why
30
not?
days.
Why can't they answer those questions, Madison?
They don't have research. But they want people to discover for themselves like what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's not fair to them. You
Mm.
expect them to do the work that you already was supposed to do.
They
That's what
assume.
questions. Those are simple
Mm-hmm.
questions. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you do. All we're seeing is, nice pictures. That does not help nobody. I don't care about the aesthetics. We need to know what's going on. What are you doing? Like people don't want to say what they're doing. It's a mystery.
Look, Madison, now people, I always look, I'm all like, delete the photo shoot. Now, have you ever done a photo shoot? Have you ever done a
No,
photo shoot?
no. A photo shoot. What photo shoot? I'm right here. No one cares about a photo shoot.
Woo!
All you're gonna do is look. The photo shoot is just gonna create more judgment. Oh, look at her. She wore this. Her makeup is this way. Her hair looks this way. It's like all that. That's not helping anybody. Watch me on the news. Don't watch the photo shoot. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help. Doesn't help nobody. It looks appealing, but that's taking you away from the work. How is the work improved? You're gonna want to
Mhm.
fix the photos tomorrow anyway. You're gonna want to retouch the photos tomorrow. The photos is not helping nobody.
Isn't that helping nobody? Because look, you have to evolve the work. And I think I think one of entrepreneurship biggest problem is the failure to evolve. I think a lot of people don't understand evolution. And it's so apparent they don't understand evolution when they do not I'm trying to gather the words. I know what I'm trying to say. But there's a lack of evolution here. People don't want to evolve their work. And it's almost like everything is based off a trend. So the photo shoots, the looking good, the trying to make themselves, it's the I I only care about now. And yes, it's we want to be as present as possible, but you have to also count the future. And I think when people do things like the photo shoots, the branding, the constant branding, it's like, do you care about the evolution of your business on a larger scale?
Clients do not care about your logo, your company name, your brand colors. No one cares about that. Nobody. Nobody. If I'm having a if I'm having a 2 hour conversation with you, are you going to be like, Madison, I really like that you rebranded? No one cares. That's not where my company's focused on. Rebranding what? There's nothing to rebrand. Like these are the solutions. Here we go. Nothing. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. That's just wasting time. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Who has time for
Mm-hmm.
that? We were here to solve
Mm-hmm.
issues.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I love that you mentioned clarity. So if y'all, I hope y'all taking notes, because this is such a powerful, it's not just a video testimonial. This is honestly a session. Like, because it's powerful. Clarity. High ticket only business models require clarity. Madison, can you please repeat those three questions that you asked entrepreneurs? Because those were powerful three questions.
Who are you? What do you deliver and what do you solve? If you can't answer those questions, stop talking to people. You need to figure that out first before you start promoting. Because then what are you promoting from? Nothing.
That was so good. That was so good. Wow. Wow. What did you let go of to become the powerhouse businesswoman you are today?
Mm, let me think. I I think it's more opposite. Like I think it's more of what did I make sure to uphold, which is of course the standard, but let go. Um, I don't know, because I wasn't so fearful. Like, people are like, oh, I was so scared. I
Mhm.
wasn't really scared. Um,
Mhm.
but I let go of certain things in terms of like strategy, because for me, strategy is what you choose not to do. So there's a lot of choices I didn't want to
Mhm.
make, like that, like for example, like the branding,
Mhm.
over explaining myself, like I didn't want to do any of that. So
Mhm.
certain things like I just stopped doing, like or
Mhm.
like it's hard to say one thing, but definitely honing in on what my strategy is. Okay, what am I gonna choose to do well? And then everything else let go. Like it's like, okay, you're gonna write
Mhm.
well, you're going to serve your clients at a high level. Everything else other than that, disappear. I don't care about anything else. That's all I care about.
Wow.
Like my writing and showing up for my clients. Like there's because the writing is like one entry point. Like let's say if
Mhm.
you can watch my videos, like whatever, but the like how I communicate, um, making sure that's thorough and my relationship with my clients. If anything else in other than that, nothing else matters to me.
Mhm.
And I think like the continuous like refining my craft, like that's
Mhm.
something I've upheld. Um, but let go. Like I feel like I was in a fine place like when
Mhm.
I started, but um yeah, like there was a
Mhm.
lot of things like I had to try a lot of things, but through that I was like, okay, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this now. And like where I am now is the result of everything I've let go of, if that makes any sense.
Wow. Wow. It
Mhm.
makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. The refinery of your work. Can you go into that? What does it mean to refine your work on a consistent basis?
You have to put yourself in the outside's shoes every single day. You have to be like, how can I make this more understandable? Like even that thing, like that post that I wrote of like who we are, what we deliver, our solution. Like I was like, I need to make this clear because if people hear the word business research, they may not even know what that means. So I have to give, even though sometimes people feel like it dilutes their work, you have to provide that. That's a courtesy, right? So like even that, and just like being in, our environment, like all those are factors that push you to keep like, pushing the needle. You know what I mean? Like, no, I have to do this
Mm-hmm.
better. I have to do this different. So that has helped too, like, being in an environment with other women who are doing similar things or
Mm-hmm.
women in business, period. Like that has helped as well. But like, I saw something yesterday that said if it was in reference to it, when you play basketball,
Mm-hmm.
it said if you are the best in your gym, it's time to get a new gym.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for me, it was just like, it's just like always, if you think about it, nobody knows me, but like people watching. But if I go back to think about like who was Madison younger, like the same
Mm-hmm.
attitude and mindset, it's like it's always been similar. Like how do I not beat everybody, but like how can I
Mm-hmm.
stand out as me? How can I do what
Mm-hmm.
nobody's doing? Like or like where like I'm in research, so it's like where are the gaps? Like how can I predict what's gonna happen next? Like based on what I know.
Mm-hmm.
How can I just keep being me but still serving at the same time? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the refining is very natural to me by being in research because if you just think about the concept of research, research is constant discovery. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it's like I'm always thinking of that. I'm always reading. I'm always having conversations. I'm experiencing
Mm-hmm.
life, like, and all those things merge to create what the refining you see now. Like it's just constant. Like even now, like, I could change that post right now. That those three things are changed
Mm-hmm.
again. But to not shock, the system or people.
Mm-hmm.
You take time to do certain things, but like changes, I'm always tweaking stuff all the time because I care. I think that's different. Like if you don't care, we are going to see it. If you don't value what you even do or what you believe in, like we could tell. Like I could tell. Like you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So that also, if we go back to like standards and stuff, that goes into like picking clients, right? Like I'm picking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not accepting. I'm picking. You know what I mean? Like that's privilege. You know what I mean? So even that and I think that answers your question of like the refining
Mm-hmm.
part. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a priority for me. If you're like, how do you do it? It's a priority, and it's because I care.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No other question. It's like, how do I make this better? Because it obviously can be better. I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not um delusional. I know it can be. Everything can be better.
Mm-hmm.
Little steps, whether it's with clients on a personal level or my page or my writing, like you can see, like the growth
Right.
is there. Go to the bottom. You know what I mean? You can read it. And I'm not ashamed of anything because whatever I
Mm-hmm.
wrote or put up, that's a reflection of where I was at. But the focus
Wow.
of improving the details and everything else, everything in between, like that is my job. That's my priority. And it's just really important to me.
I love it. And I love that you said anything that I posted in the past, not ashamed of, because that was where I was at the time.
Hmm.
And I think that is such an important statement to make because, people oftentimes, when it comes down to evolution, refinery, prioritizing the higher standard, people oftentimes mistake that as, okay, delete everything that I did in the past, like wipe out. And I can get it because sometimes it's like I don't want that to follow me. But I think that it can tell a beautiful story
Hmm.
behind a business, behind the founder, how the
Hmm.
founder founded themselves. Like how the founder literally went on this journey. Because people oftentimes, let's go back to what you said in the first question, people think it's always overnight. People think that it's woo, when it's the details. So when we don't erase the details and when we don't neglect the details, we're able to see the bigger picture. And it's moving for your clients to see. It's
Hmm.
moving for your audience to see. It's moving for the people to see. And this is what creates the legends of the industry. I didn't say the best.
Hmm.
I said the legends, the business, what you call them, business moguls, the
Hmm.
business moguls, the legends. What makes a legend? What makes a legend? What makes someone legendary? Not just good, not just the best, not just the standard. Legendary. Legendary is a is a huge word. What gives someone that title? It's their respect to process and evolution.
Hmm.
It's their
Even,
respect to evolution. Mm-hmm.
even if you were to like gain things overnight, you just wouldn't be ready. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
as much as people like praise those moments, like you truly would not be ready. As someone who's, hasn't experienced something overnight per se, it's like you kind of like feel thank God because it's like you're not ready for that. And it's okay. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like just wait
Mm-hmm.
a few months. Like it's all right. Like we know
Mm-hmm.
everybody has needs, but you wanna when you receive something, you want to be able to maintain it. You don't want to just say you
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of just having it?
What's the point? What's the point? You look at the Michael Jacksons,
Mm.
the Beyoncés, the Selena, how you say her last name, Quintanilla. I say Quintanilla.
Oh,
It's
oh, okay. I don't know.
Quintanilla.
Who is it? Who's that?
Selena Quintan. You don't know Selena Quintanilla?
Oh, Selena? Is that shit on
Selena.
yeah, but no one even says her last name. Yeah, yeah.
I
No, I
know I
know
do. I'm like
Quintanilla. Quintanilla.
Quintanilla. Okay, okay. The
I was like, who?
Selenas.
Yeah. I got it. Your
I
last name.
always say her last name. Look, I'm a last name person. Always say your full government name.
Like,
Always, always.
here.
But the Selenas, the Beyoncés, the Michael Jacksons. When I look at these individuals, I see a common similarity between you and them.
Mm,
And that common similarity, Madison, is refinery, going back to that, the refinery of your work, and then not being so quick to erase the past, but allowing it to stand as a monument, as a museum,
reference.
as a reference.
Yeah. Hmm. It's okay. And
Hmm.
even if you delete it, you could talk about it. Like, oh, when I started, this is what I was doing. Like,
Hmm.
all a part of the process. Like, it's not embarrassing. It's just the process. Like, it's
Hmm.
not serious.
It's a
You know,
process.
you're here now. Like it's something you laugh at. Like don't even think we've done in the past. Like you just laugh.
Hmm.
Like it's a journey. So, and you got to make time, to laugh at certain things too. Like it's all right.
Yes, 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 yes. Imagine this is so good. Lord have mercy. What does being what does being sovereign look like in your business?
Uh, building a life that, building a life
Hmm.
that where you build a life that what happens is that after you build it, you do whatever you want.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like that's what we're doing. Like you build your life the way you want so that you could do what you want later.
Hmm.
So for me, that's been like my thought process in terms of like why am I doing what I'm doing or um and the part you said of like being sovereign, I feel like just for me, like in past, life experience, like I've always been I do a lot of things solo, so it's natural
Hmm.
to be in like a sovereign mindset.
Hmm.
Um, but always remembering like how I may feel today,
Hmm.
just like a reflection of how I see like myself and like my mind. So I know like everything that I go through, whether even if I'm conversing with clients or whatever the case may be, it's really just me against myself all the time. Like it's not ever me against them. So for me, like being sovereign has also become like um building a relationship with myself, like a strong relationship with me,
Right.
learning, my habits, seeing where I can improve, but just always realizing like the competition is me, you know what I mean? Like it's always
Hmm.
been me. And yeah, just making sure like I'm,
Hmm.
as solid as I can be, in terms of like how I show up for people and myself and prioritizing Madison, you know.
Hmm.
Yes, we live to serve and all those things and receive, of course, but always everything is always going to come back to me, you know what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
I have to make sure like I'm taken care of and I'm prioritizing me because at the end of the day, like you realize like as much life as you may experience, you realize that your happiness or your growth, all those things like come from you. Like it's not and God, but like you can't like outsource those things. Like, I'm gonna
Mm,
outsource happiness from a client. Like you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can help them and things like that, but like everything, at night, you go to bed alone or you go to bed whatever. Everything's gonna go back to you. So it's like
yes.
how solid or how grounded can I make Madison? How can I make Madison happy? Like for me, because I know myself. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
just like prioritizing my health, safety, having fun, enjoying myself, like all those things is
mhm,
being sovereign because I always have to, pour into my cup. I know that phrase is so
mhm.
overused, but like, how can I give to Madison? Because Madison gives, what can I
Ooh,
do
I love
today?
that.
What can I do today that's gonna make me happy or enjoy
Mhm.
life more? Like all those things, because that makes me better when it comes to serving and things of that nature. But yeah, like sovereignty is just really taking care of yourself and um, knowing that if that doesn't happen, like what is going to happen after that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like a huge question mark. So
Wow.
yeah, like getting like keep like exploring. How do I say that? Like making an effort to keep getting to know myself as well. Like, yeah, I know who I am
Mm,
now. Like more things, like making time to discover things where I live, whatever it may be. Just like have fun and yeah, like how to self-serve.
I love it. I love it. And I think that was such a powerful statement that you said because people, in these spaces, they forget that. They so forget that, Madison. And I think it is wonderful that you understand so clearly the things that people can forget so easily.
Hmm.
The self-serving.
Hmm.
People oftentimes think that it's I give, I service, I nurture. You know how we are about that in nurture, nurture. And so the question that comes up is, okay, if I'm always nurturing the people, when do I get time to take care of my own well-being?
Hmm. Never, if you don't do it. Hmm. And you show up always better when you take.
Always.
You got to define for yourself what taking care is. Like we could say it and throw it out there, but it's like those are things you have to really look at on your own. Because my
Hmm.
self-care, my that things could look different for someone else. So it's no one suggestion, but just really looking at what that means for you.
Wow.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. That's so good because I wish I go follow her on Instagram. If you go watch her stories, she is living her life.
Mhm.
She's built a business. And can you say that you come to that point now? And we actually have a question like that, where you're like, let's get to that question. So I'm gonna get to the question later because I want
Yeah.
to ask it individually. So we'll
Okay.
come to that later on.
Okay.
So, what surprised you about your capacity to lead, serve, and scale? Are you, hold on, to get the question. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this question together. My handwriting is woof. What's,
Okay.
what surprised you about your capacity to lead, serve, and scale? Once you stopped over explaining and instead sold like yourself. I'm so sorry for that question. Repeat it one more time. What
Okay.
surprised you about your capacity to lead, serve, and scale? Are
We can start there. Let's start there. Let's start there.
my handwriting, I promise
It's
you,
like
it's
three
like
questions.
so yeah,
Okay.
so you can start right there.
Um, I would say if it was like I was talking to myself, I would say
Mhm,
you always had the ability to do this and better than everyone around you
mhm,
and better than you ever imagined.
mhm,
I think everybody, I mean, I would imagine a big group of people come into business from, previous work experience, at least one
mhm,
job. And, there's leaders around you and you have all these curiosities, this curiosity of like, oh, but how do they lead in this manner? Or like, why are they here? And for me, I would always think that it was like something outside of me. Like I could, not that I couldn't do what they do, but like it was almost like there was some other requirement that I didn't know about. And like
Mm.
leadership is truly a choice. It's not something that's given to you. So it's like
Oh.
once,
Mhm.
once you choose, like I'm doing this, and then you show up as yourself, you're like, this is no handbook about leadership. Like this is
Mhm.
where I'm supposed to be right now. Like so, what surprised me is just like you're nice, like at this, like you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
and like you're made to do this, like not just lead, like that's one category, like I'm in others, but like of course like research and etc. But I'm like
Mhm.
you always could do this. Like look at how you just transform one individual, two, three, four. Um, when you do that, it's like it's like more confirmation of like this is where you are
Mhm.
supposed to be. Not that you need it, but like even just starting, I was like, nah, like you're nice at this. Like who? I think there's a lot of gaps in terms of like people not explaining what leadership is to people. I think the way it
Right.
is communicated is like you need to, climb a ladder or you just things that
Mhm.
nothing that makes sense. You know what I mean? Leadership is the choice. Like you know what I mean? And from
Mhm.
you decide how you want to move, how you want to talk to people.
Mhm.
Like you always could you were doing it. How about this? More so like you were already doing it, but not at like the same you weren't like broadcasting it to people like, oh, I'm a leader. Like you were always leading
Mhm.
people all the time, like your whole life.
Mhm.
In your family, in your relationships, you always were leading to some level. You're a trendsetter. Like that, I've
Mhm.
always known that from little
Mhm.
from little girl to high school to college. I was always the trendsetter. Always. Always. I could give you like 10 examples, like all the time. And I didn't realize it. Because when you are the leader,
Mhm.
like you don't realize sometimes that you're the one leading everybody behind you.
Ooh.
There's no one in front of you. So you're just like, I'm like, seriously. So, oh, I've always been that. Like, but uh I never clocked it because I was just like, it was always a part of me, and I seriously never realized. Like whether it was me wearing certain things, saying things, creating certain things, like I was just like other people would be like, "Oh, Madison, I'm gonna do this or whatever," and I'm like, "I did that already." Or even in language, like I would notice like certain friends would start to say what I say. I'm like, I don't know what you guys have going on over there. Okay, but you just like I'm evolving always, so I'm just like whatever. Anyway, stay with that. So
Ooh.
yeah, like I never realized I was a leader all along. If to put it
Mhm.
simply, but I'm just like,
Mhm.
but it's been a trend in my life. I'm like, Madison, all the time since this, and this year, you've always been leading everybody, So I'm just like,
Ooh. Wow.
oh my gosh, like it's almost as if oh my gosh, I'm sure there's so many like videos of like when like kids don't realize that they have certain gifts. And it's kind of like that. Like I didn't realize I had the gift
Mhm.
all along because it was just so natural. You don't
Mhm.
and unless like imagine someone is singing their whole life and like they don't realize if they're good or not until someone tells them like, "Yo, you are truly amazing. No one else can do what you do." And you're like, "I've always been doing this." You don't realize until
You
someone
don't
tells you.
realize it.
Yeah, so that's my experience.
Mhm. Mhm. And I love that you said, when you've evolved past that, when people start mimicking you or imitating, it's like, y'all can have that. I've moved on. So this goes to, I'm gonna say this. That is the beauty in evolution, is that you are always the one with the key. So
Mhm.
if you, and I think that I'm gonna say this to the crowd because people sometimes get a little bit like worried about that, like, oh, I'm being copied, I'm being imitated. But y'all just heard out of Madison's mouth. If you're a trendsetter, if you're a leader, that's gonna happen. But see, because you commit yourself to evolution, when they start doing certain stuff, you're past that. It's like, yeah, y'all can have that. Like, I didn't been done that. So you never have to worry about being copied, imitated, mimicked when you are constantly evolving. Because by the time they catch up, you gonna be somewhere in 2085 while they still trying to get their life together in 2026. You know, it's literally how it goes.
Like you're the bootleg version. Keep it. I don't care. Like I'm the original. Keep going. You're gonna get tired. Like you're gonna get tired and realize like this is not me. Duh, it's not you. But take it. But people, if they have no clear identity, they're gonna cling on to anything.
Oh, cling on to anything. And see, Madison, this is what I always say. The people that you admire, the leaders, the coaches, the trainers, the mentors, the consultants, anyone who you see in this space leading freaking powerfully, they will all have to move on one day. Their assignments will one day change.
Hmm.
Their assignment they can be a consultant today, and then by next year, God called them into homemaking and marriage and a more peaceful life, right? And they can still be consulting, but be on a different level, a different scale. So
Hmm.
people's assignment will change one day. And see, you trying to stay over there and watch them and just, okay, I'm going, and see, by the time you catch up to them, their assignment changed and they moved on. And so it won't be no, oh, I can just follow you where you go. I can just do what you do. It's going to get tiring having to follow their consistent evolution to change and growth. It's going to get exhausting at some point.
Because you don't even know where it's coming from. So like imagine what you're copying. You don't know.
Imagine, repeat that part because they need to hear that.
You don't know where they are even coming from. So what are you even copying? You're copying a result. How does that make any sense?
You're
A
copying
result
a
is the
result.
product of a process. You don't even know the process. Where are you going? You're crashing. Boom.
And then look, Madison, and then that can get very dangerous because when you explain the process and you give them the process, that can turn into hate real quick because they love the result, the fruit. Everyone wants the fruit. I think there was something, I'm gonna go back to the Bible. Um, I want to say it was a Joseph story, but I think it was Joseph's story. I know I tell that story like day and night in TSMM, but I don't think it was the Joseph story. I think it was. Everyone was obsessed with his anointing.
Mm-hmm.
His brothers had sold him off into slavery, but they were obsessed with his anointing. They were like, this man is anointed. And see, when you are anointed, I think in the beginning stages, you don't know that you are. Like you said before, I like sometimes you don't know that you're amazing to someone say, like, hey, no one can do what you're doing. So Joseph was in that same position, Madison, where he had this powerful anointing. Everyone saw Joseph and they were like, this guy is great. And we don't want him to awaken in his greatness because if he does, no telling what the heck he can become. And see, some people will subconsciously or consciously, whatever, just try to kind of deter you from some of your, because it's like if you awaken, I mean, God, jeez, what can you become? So his
People.
brothers, yes, his brothers had sold him off into slavery. And Madison, the story is one of my favorites because it is so beautiful. But he was in slavery. Joseph was able to get himself out of slavery and then move up just off of pure anointing. No gold, no resources, just using his anointing. Look, without even realizing he was using it. He didn't even know that he was using his anointing, but see, the people around him was like, this guy is great. And so he went from the slave to the freaking head of the kingdom. They said, Madison, when his brothers, and this is my favorite part of the freaking story, when his brothers came to see Joseph, they said they couldn't even recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
They could not recognize him. And it's not recognition by the physical appearance, it's recognition in terms of spirit. They couldn't believe that the last time we saw you was as a slave. But see, your anointing and your respect to constant evolution made you the head of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Just as order.
Ooh,
Hmm. Who cares the most about the evolution?
it's a good question, y'all. Who cares the most about evolution?
If you copy, you don't care about evolution. That's not evolving. For real.
Oh my goodness. I'm so amazed about what I'm hearing right now. I mean, I just love when you had said you don't know where it's coming from. This person, you are copying the result, not the process. That Madison, that sent me through a whoop because that was good. That was
Hmm.
good.
And you're copying your interpretation of that. So it's even more dangerous. Mm-mm.
That was so good. Oh my goodness, Madison. What was said in the 10-month mastermind that changed you forever?
If you try to um, figure out how something is going to unfold, you're on your
Mm,
own. Guys,
mm,
you're on
mm-hmm,
your own. You're trying to put in this work and then also lay out how things are going to happen. You're not going to be helped. So
mm,
I didn't do that. I
mm,
filed a trademark LLC with not one client. If that's not faith, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? I
mm-hmm.
was doing all that because I'm like, I don't know where the client's coming from. I don't know where the business is going, but I'm doing this.
Wow.
There was no other option. I made the decision before even knowing what was going to happen. That's real faith. That's someone who really is about business. You're not about business if you don't do that. People are halfway into business. They want to keep their job. They want to be like, I could build both. I'm going to tell you right now, you can't. You can't. And you could tell me 50 million stories that are successful. I don't care. You can't do it. The way you want to really do it, like, and really come out swinging, and everything is a home run. You have to let that go. That's what I let go. I let go of jobs. I let go of all everything else that wasn't the business.
You
I
sure
let it
did. You sure did. You
go.
sure
No, no,
did. That November, you had quit. Look,
no.
and then,
You're
and you
like,
didn't say nothing.
no. No, it's like, no, this is not for me. No. If you're smarter than your boss, leave. No, leave immediately. That's always been the case. But seriously, that changed me. I was like, I'm
Mm,
gone. This is not. Nothing else matters. This is what matters
mm.
right now. If people saw where I was in November, they wouldn't even be like, they'd be like, who is this? Same as the story you're saying. They'd be like, who are you?
Oh my
What?
goodness.
We know you had it in you, but for you to do all these things, put all these things together this fast, untouchable.
Mm, mm-hmm. 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 And you know what? I love that you also said, and you cannot have a job while you're doing this because, and look, and then you said, and I don't care, don't pull up the 50 million success stories. People, the folks gonna always get their success stories out
Let
and,
them
and
do
give you.
it. Because you can't tell me this is a success story because they didn't let go of what they needed to let go of. They could have been eons beyond what they
Yeah,
built right now. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, those success stories don't matter. You have to lose everything to really receive way more than you ever imagined. You do.
be careful, man. They're gonna call you, they're gonna be like you trying to teach them hustle.
No, but that's not hustle. It doesn't have to be material. It's like you have to let go of everything you thought you needed to
Mm,
be successful. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
but if people don't think you need to work to have a business or you need to hustle in any regard, then business is not for you. You have to do the unthinkable in business to be anywhere. You have to do the unthinkable. Because what happens when you come out doing something? People be like, man, I never thought of that. Of course, because I'm doing the unthinkable. You're sitting. Duh. You cannot have uh two things at once being like, yes, I equally value this or I value my business more. How? If you're holding your job so tight to you, how could you tell me the business matters more to you? It doesn't. It doesn't. You believe more in the job. You believe more in someone else telling you what to do than you telling yourself what to do.
Wow.
I left
Wow.
it. I left the chat. I left it.
And you know what? And that's why I had covered my face. I said it was when you had said if you don't think that you're gonna have to hustle just a little bit, like you're gonna have to do a
What?
little. You're now look. Does there come a point where now you can say, you know what? Let's sustain and let's root and let's ground. Of course. But when you are just starting off, Madison, when you were building that momentum, you had to get, excuse my language, batshit insane. And see, people get afraid of that batshit. Like how crazy are you willing to get about the life you want? I don't care if you got to go on that live every day and just yell to your lungs about how fucking you buy your course now. I don't give a damn. Look, do what you have to do when you are starting off. I think that you know what? Let's go back here. I'm gonna take it back. I think that social media and see, I'm old school. Okay. I'm old school with the way I perceive things. I always think old school is better than new school.
Hmm.
Old school entrepreneurship was grit. It was when you go back to like the 90s, 80s, the entrepreneurs back then, they had grit. They didn't F around. They didn't, I'm just going, I'm gonna rest. It's your first freaking year. Why are you resting? Like why are you resting? Why? Like that's not, it's not for you right now. Now, I think that there comes a point where you've earned that. So now you can create that space. But when you just starting off and you create momentum, old school entrepreneurship talk, you go all in, you leave it all on the floor. I think this new school entrepreneurship, it teaches people to it gives so many options. In back then in the 90s and 80s, you didn't have options. If say for example, a singer was trying to blow up, there was no, you go on TikTok, you record your 30-second video and then you go viral. It was if your song did not get played on the freaking radio, you didn't get in. But if your song played on that radio that day, you were the happiest of happiest because that the work was realized. Nowadays, there's too many freaking options. And so it took away from the art, the evolution, it took away from it. The options, I'ma keep my job. Back then, folks didn't keep their job. Folks quit and went all in. What happened to that?
I think it's because business is presented as a hobby. Like you can make money. That is not what business is. It's a product of having a business. If you're building a company, you're doing everything you can night and day to keep turning things around because that is your priority. That's what you want to do first thing in the morning, whatever. If you're just like, oh, I'm trying to make money or whatever, like you're not running a business. You're just trying to get money. That's not what we're doing. If you don't want to work, business is not for you. You are destined to work for someone else. Just go do that. That's better for you. You want to get 10 days off a year, do that. Yeah, okay, we work every single day, no days off, but there's probably going to be years that I don't even need to open my computer.
I'm
You're
finna
not
take a
work
run.
you're not working towards that. So get your 10 days off a year and be comfortable with that. I am not comfortable with that. I don't need nobody telling me you need and I need to beg for a day off. No.
No,
No, we did that
no.
already. We did that. Been there, done that. Life is about change. We've been there. We've seen that. We don't want it. So what do? You adapt.
You adapt. Gotta love that you said that because people, it's a hobby to so many people. And you know what, Madison? I mean, let's go to this. You even had to tell me. You said, Allison, what is the standard?
Mm-hmm. What
What's
is
the
it?
standard? And
Mm-hmm.
people need to be asked that question more. I think that there's that question, Madison.
Yeah.
I think that question is not asked so often because the question instead that's being asked is, you want to go traveling every week? You want to go and enjoy your and have freedom? I think those questions are taking so much of the space, which is why there's no room for the depth because the questions are so shallow. Like, you want to go travel? And it's like if you're if the business if you're not working on your business on a consistent to everyday basis, like every single, I'm gonna say this, you know, elf consistent every day, every second, every moment, every inch of your day should be poured into your business. I don't care. Am I saying to to lose yourself in it? No. And we've already addressed that, like pour into yourself in that last question. So this is
Yeah.
not about losing yourself in and ending up in someone's, hospital. This is you are I'm just being honest. This is pouring your depth into the business, making it an assignment to refine every single second. Refine. There is no room for quitting because you're always refining. Always, always, always.
If you love yourself, like we'll see that in the business. Like, why wouldn't you want to fix your stuff? Like every minute. Like even if I'm going for a walk, like I'm paying attention, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, I'm writing notes in my phone. Like I'm always like, okay, I'm always thinking about how to make the business better. Like every day. If you love yourself, that's what you do. If you don't, the business is gonna be empty.
But they worried about core sales. Look, 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 like, both be over here. We this is real shit. This is real entrepreneur business. You're running a company. You're running a company. This is not about getting a core sale. Asking how can I make a sale? Girl, you're gonna make a sale. That's the last part of the assignment. Like,
Don't say
that's
the
not
phone.
even your focus. Your focus is refinery, refine. Always evolve the freaking company. They're gonna get sales. But see, do you know how miserable it is to be in the business that get sales, but there's no standard?
Goodbye. Goodbye right now. No. I change things every single day. Why? Because it's better
Oh,
now. Because it's better now. Oh, wait, this is better. That is the product of loving yourself.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at the Starbucks. Look at the
Here we go.
look, here we go. Here we go. Look at the Starbucks. Look at the I'm gonna even add freaking McDonald's. I mean, heck, I don't eat there whatsoever, but I'm just gonna add them because it's a company. What is one thing they have in common? They
Good.
evolve.
Mhm. That has to be your promise to yourself, seriously.
Madison, you go down the street, the McDonald's look like some tech company. I mean, like it's does it look like the McDonald's from 2008 is not the McDonald's in 2025. We're going to 2026.
They're still the same McDonald's, but they change.
They
Change the menu,
changed.
change the price. There was a restaurant here by my house. They said only from 6 to 7 p.m., $5 meals. Do you think they want to do that? No, but they want sales. They want to change. They want whatever. So that's what they do. That who knows when they're gonna do that again? But they did
Right.
it. Little things like that. You gotta dedicate your life, your business to that.
So you come to constant evolving. That's all it is. You dedicate.
Hmm. If not, the business is just dead.
It's dead. It's dead. I mean, I'm gonna even go to Beyonce. I mean, every single year is not the same. I
Hmm.
mean, next year she'll be doing rock. I mean, she is. Her next concert gonna be a rock concert. Like, you know how crazy that is to go from country music to rock, to go to R&B to country, to go to pop to rap. But it's not crazy when you understand dedication. Like she has made it her life to evolve.
Hmm.
And folks like, well, her cowboy album wasn't that good. It's not about something it's not about your interpretation of because I
Hmm.
think that she's so far beyond what people like. Like I don't care about oh this album being hot and it's been on the Billboard. It's not about the Billboard. It's not about the charts. It's about the art, the evolution, the dedication.
Hmm.
That same principle can be applied to business. It's not about you being on Forbes magazine, and yes, I think that should be, I think that when you get yourself to a point, you that should be a goal. Like, yeah, get on Forbes magazine.
Yeah.
But if that is your if that is your only
Oh,
goal, I gotta get on Forbes. But what about the refinery? What about the evolution? What about your constant dedication to growth?
if that's not there, Forbes not calling
It's not calling you.
you. Mm-mm.
It's not calling you.
Why would they?
The Forbes don't take people who are mediocre. And I think that the space of entrepreneurship has made mediocrity somewhat the standard in so many ways. And I hate it. And, even saying, even Madison, you asking me the question, what is the standard?
Hmm.
That's a high performance question. That's a high
Because
performance question.
what are you upholding?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That if you don't have that answer, I can't. It's like who can trust you? You know what I
Who
mean?
can trust you?
No.
Mm-hmm. And in Madison, would you say this? As I always say this too. Consulting, coaching, leading, training, that's for high performers only. People think, I think that what we've, and the reason why you asked me that question, what's the standard? Was because in so many ways, we sort of made that for everyone. Like everyone can get coached, everyone can get consulting, everyone can, it can be, we can make space for all levels. Like all levels can partake in this. And
No.
so, and there has to be a ground where we say, absolutely not. All levels cannot be shown
No given. It can't be
attention,
given. Yeah, yeah.
can be
Hmm.
given.
No. That's why I said I'm strict. Mm-mm.
You sure is.
I'm strict. And being strict is loving yourself.
Oh my
You're gonna
goodness.
you're gonna let everybody trample all over you, whatever the phrase is. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
send you into a place where you don't want to go.
Mm. Look, you be in hell before you know it. Like
Right.
you, like
Express. No.
yes, because we have to make it clear that consulting and coaching is not for everyone. It's for high performers only.
Hmm.
It's for women with work ethic. If I have to teach you work ethic isn't taught. I think
And
work ethic is a natural born thing. I think that you are naturally born with work ethic. Now, you can argue me with that. You can get in the comments and you can cuss me out.
yeah,
You know,
you
hope that YouTube don't flag you. But
can't teach effort.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
You can't
mm-mm, no, mm-mm,
get strict quick.
mm-hmm. You have to be sure about your process, about your business, because, and we're going to the next question. But I'm gonna say this: you never know who is coming in, not to respect process, but to disrupt process. Because you have some people in the world who are the respectors, and you
Hmm.
have disruptors.
Hmm.
You're gonna meet either of those two. I don't believe in between. There is no in between, especially in business. It's either you respect or you disrupt. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Who are you setting yourself up to meet every single day inside your business? Is your business positioned to either meet respectors or disruptors?
You gotta filter it out.
You got to filter. Okay. When you look at your high ticket that's booked in every continent, I mean, Madison, you have closed deals in every continent. That is major. What makes you say, I did that?
I mean, the fact alone, but what do you mean?
Like when you look at your business and you say, damn, like I did my big one. Like,
I don't,
okay,
I don't even think about it. Like, I'm just like
like.
one, like,
hmm
like
hmm
one, it's like who wouldn't find me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm already on
Oh.
and available to some capacity. So it's like,
hmm
right, if I've created this company, I've put out to the world, like this is what I do. I've done my part. Either
hmm
reaching out, people coming to me, whatever, building relationships, and I'm already like writing out that process. Like, who wouldn't find me from all over the world? You know what I mean?
hmm
It's like maybe I made that decision subconsciously. Like, I want to work with everybody. I want to work with people all over the world. Like, maybe I thought about it and it just happened.
hmm
But I'm just like, I wouldn't expect anything less from myself. Like, it's like you were supposed to do that. Okay, now get 10 more people across the all continents. It's like for me, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? We live on Earth. Like, we don't live in just. I don't just live in New York. It is its own country in its own
Oh,
way.
yes, it is.
But
Yes, it is.
not every the world. So for me, for me to be able to communicate with everyone, it's like, duh, you were always gonna do that. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's just like I'm not the type to like tap myself on the back like all the time. You know what I mean? It's like just keep going, keep going. Like, I think we're trained to be that way, like
hmm
to keep going and not stop and like celebrate after every win. And sometimes like it's good, but like I don't stop at every single one. I'm just like keep going.
hmm
But you have to keep programming yourself to be that way, or
hmm
to keep functioning. But
hmm
I think I don't really think too much about it. I'm just like that okay, that's a new requirement now.
hmm
You have to have that in your thing now.
You have to. You have to. And you know what? Let's go back to that. Number one, I laughed when you had said New York is its own.
It is. It
I always,
is.
I always say New York is its own. Like, I've never seen a place where the people don't want to leave. Like, they are all like, they love.
You know.
I said New
What
York is
says
its own country. Because what do you mean? The
yeah,
people who have been born and raised there don't want to go nowhere else around. Like I mean, you got Hawaii, you got Bali, you got Tokyo, you got Switzerland. They said, I want to stay in New York. This is my place. This is my home. Nowhere else. And it's funny because Cardi B, I was watching something about her, and she was living in Atlanta.
yeah.
And she was like, she want to go back to New York and live there because she loved living in New York. I'm like, they just love their place. I mean, they don't want to go nowhere else.
Look, they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Like, New York is like the gateway to the world. Like, if you
hmm
you have to come through here first to be big. You know what I mean? And like
hmm
born here and everything and all that is like such a blessing. But yeah, like I don't know. There's nothing like being here. Like, there's just nothing like it. Like, it is,
hmm
there's pressure. There's a lot of stuff you gotta go
hmm
around, but it's just like this
hmm
this is its own world. Like,
It's
honestly,
its
for your
own
country,
world.
it's its own world. And there's just
hmm
so many things that you can like benefit from here. Because it's like
hmm
an international hub, you know what I mean? So maybe it's just a product of my environment because I've always been surrounded
hmm
by people from all over the world.
hmm
So for me, it's just like it was natural to just make that decision
Yeah.
for that to happen because that's my environment. Like, you walk down the street, there's like 10 different stores or
Oh,
from 10
goodness.
different people, like, 10 different countries. So it's
hmm
just it's just kind of like a product of my environment. Like, maybe if I was from somewhere else, like I wouldn't seek those things, but it's like being from New
hmm
York, you always think big. Like, remember, think of the size of the buildings. They're humongous. Like, that's your thinking. You're literally programmed to be
Mm,
a big thinker, to dream. In other states, like
yeah.
people don't dream. You know what I mean? Like here, you dream from the minute you're born. Like you think you could
Oh,
own the skyscrapers. You think you could whatever, like own a
oh,
floor of like a whole whatever building. You know what I mean? Like you just
oh.
think like that. So it's really just a product of my environment. If you want to think, to put it in terms,
Hmm.
really, like we are big dreamers, big thinkers. We're full of life. Like maybe not. I wouldn't say myself, but like New Yorkers in general, like to be the center of attention, things like that. Or like in my case, like you should attract attention naturally.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. And I'm gonna say this. I was in New York in November. Yeah, not talk about that trip almost every single day because it really did change my life. I will say it did. It changed me because
Yeah.
when I went to now, I will say I was in a taxi. And even seeing the skyscrapers, we weren't even close to there yet. But I mean, even just like the New York skyscrapers, that in itself, I mean, you would have thought I met Beyonce because I was in the back seat just cheesing. Like, these are the skyscrapers. I mean, oh my God, these are the skyscrapers. And when we
Mhm.
pulled up into the city, I'm like, at the moment, I'm gonna say this. The moment I got out the taxi and I hit the ground, and not literally hit the ground, but like like the feeling. It's
Yeah.
it's the city that never sleeps. I mean, it's like it's you really get like a alive feeling, and it's like, oh my God, like what is this? You
Hmm.
just know you're in a different universe. Like there's so many different opportunities. I mean, I felt like just going in, just going everywhere and just like meeting everyone because it's like, oh my God. I'm in
Hmm.
New York City. And I mean, Madison, I walked into Times Square, walked Manhattan. I'm like, wow. Like, y'all know I come from Alabama. I'm from the South. And the South is the South. So when you walk into New York, it's like, whoa, this is opportunity. This is you don't know who you're meeting. I mean, every single freaking day. It's a new face. Every minute, a new face. Every second, a new face. And it's like, wow. And then when I walked into the financial district, I was
Hmm.
like, whoa. Like this is where it all happens. It changes you. And I was on the flight back home, like, I want to get me an office there so bad. Like it changes you because it's like, oh my God, that is New York City. It's magical. And I loved every second of it. I was like, I mean, it was fast paced. You didn't gotta, excuse me, because no one cared. Like, just go. Like, in the South, we're like, excuse me, hey. And it's like, you don't gotta do all that in New York. It's like, just walk.
Can't even hear
Just go.
you.
They don't hear you. Just go. I mean, the way they're dressed, they're always, they walk fast because they have things to do.
Mhm.
Simple. Simple. There's no time to talk. Either you about business or you're not. Bye.
We one of a kind.
Yes, y'all are. Yes, y'all are. And I love every second of it. I'm like, that city itself is such a magical city.
Hmm. Yeah.
You should be proud of your home. You should be proud of it. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes, we are no joke.
No, y'all not. Okay, Madison, the last question. The last question. Oh, and I missed this. I missed this session and video testimony already because it was just so good. What would you tell
Hearing.
what would you tell the woman watching who is meant for 10K to 100K clients but hasn't decided to lead like that yet?
Hmm. I would say it's a more of a preparation question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to just get that right now, what
Mm-hmm.
would you do with it?
Oh.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's really putting you in the position of like, can I handle it?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you
Mm-hmm.
think of beyond money, what else is important to you? That will test you to see if you actually could hold it. I wouldn't say, are you sure you want it? Why haven't you started? No. If it was given to you, what would you do with it? Because now we want to see, are you a change maker? Are you going to transform the world, the people around you, your relationships? What are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you're given those things, okay, great. It still doesn't mean you're really meant to maintain it or have it forever. So what would you do with it
Mm-hmm.
if someone just gave, if it's okay, yes, you're getting this money or all these things as a product or as a result of your intelligence and your service, but what are you going to do with it afterwards?
Wow.
That would be my question. Because that's going to make you really ask yourself, am I ready? Or do I want to be ready? Some people don't.
And that's why in the question has, so, why hasn't she decided to lead like that yet? So you think because she has not decided to lead like that yet because she's just not ready.
Hmm. Yeah, and she hasn't put herself in that position of already having it. So it's more so like if that was in your palm right now, how is it being distributed? You're going to test yourself to see if you're actually responsible enough to now
Mm-hmm.
give to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just gave you $100,000. Great for you, but how are you going to give back to the world? You're going to give to that person to some degree,
Wow.
but again, to what level are you really going to give them? And then what are you going to give back to the world? It could be taken from you now. What are you going to do with it? It's beyond she hasn't done it because she doesn't believe in herself. It's because she just doesn't know what she would do with it.
And there y'all have it. Look, straight like that. You're not ready. And so you haven't led like it because you ain't ready.
You have to know what you're going to
What?
do.
Mm-hmm. Imagine, look back to what you said before in that last, because I love what you had said that in that question. You had said leadership is a choice.
Mm-hmm. It's not given. No one is going to give you leadership. Nobody. Even if you're in a job, they put you in a leadership position, still doesn't mean you're a leader. You have to make the choice to. You'd be like, okay, it's time. This is what I'm going to uphold. Nobody gives nobody leadership. Nobody. You choose it.
Nothing is
People,
given.
people think it's like permission. It's not.
People think it's given. People think that it's you know, you wake up and you start. That's why I hate when people start saying, I want to do consulting. I want to do why?
They're waiting. You can't wait. You would have did it already. Mm-mm.
If you really wanted to quit your job, you would have did it already.
But they don't. They praise the job.
Worship the job.
Hmm.
Never leave your coworkers. You best friends with them.
Hmm. You don't think you're smart enough. All this is all the self-love, self-worth, self-belief, all goes back to that.
Ooh, you don't think that you're smart enough.
Hmm. Well, think of how little they give you in the job. You think you don't deserve more than that. Think of the amount people get paid a year. You're waiting for them to hand you maybe $5,000 extra the next year. Your standard is on the floor.
And see, standard is connected to intelligence. So if your standards on the floor, I'm gonna take it up a notch. Low standards equal low intelligence.
You can't believe so little of yourself because then that's what you're going to give to your clients. That's not a good energy to.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Mm. They deserve the best.
The absolute.
Hmm.
Madison, this was golden. This is going to literally be in the Business Hall of Fame because this was a golden, this was a golden interview with an expert, a legend who exceeded all expectations and not only proved, you know, I won't say you proved anyone wrong. You proved
Yeah.
yourself right.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
all you have to worry about is that you proved yourself right. And let's actually go to that. I want y'all in business, okay, to not be so fixated on proving folks wrong. I think that people also get into business with that mentality. I'm gonna show y'all I'm gonna show the world what I'm capable of. It's not about that. It's not about showing the world this, that, and the third. Because honestly, the world will always be the world. Okay. It's about every single day. How can you prove yourself to be right about what you're building? How can you prove you to be right about what you're building? Don't worry about, girl, I gotta go and tell, let me go and show my uncle what I'm made of. You know, and some people do that because I've heard that. You know, Allison, I want to show I was doubted. I was okay, baby, we were all doubted. You know, Jesus was doubted. Everybody was doubted. Even God is doubted to this day. So, like everybody, girl, you gotta worry about that because everyone get look. Girl, God is doubted. Like, is God out here? I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all something. No, you prove yourself right. Like, you prove yourself right. It's not about I gotta let me go and no. Okay, how can you make yourself right? What can you do today? Look, besides sales, let me go sell. Besides that, because that when you really look into the grand scope of your business, that's gonna inevitably come. You don't have to fixate on that part. Girl, let me go find me some clients. Stop finding clients. They're gonna come to you. You don't gotta do all the girl. Let me go out there and find them. Stop. Because if you when you have the business, when the business meets the standard, you don't have to worry about clients. That's just gonna come. You need to worry about how can you respect process and evolution so much so everything becomes inevitable. That is proving yourself right. I don't care if it's redesigning your website. Just kind of, is this up to standard? Is this up to my standard? I don't care if it's saying, you know what? Let me delete the email list and start over. Is it up to standard? Let me delete my account. Let me do a YouTube video. Just what aligns with the standard. That's proving yourself right. That is doing the small stuff that
Hmm.
doesn't mean nothing. That quotation marks, but it leads into the Fords, the Fords magazine, the houses, the nice lifestyle, but and people see that. So everyone sees the man, but no one sees the nights where you had to delete your email list and scratch everything and then rebuild and then figure out things and because you were honoring the code of your work. No one sees that part. And they're not supposed to. That's for you to honor.
Hmm. That's for you to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was so good, Madison. I mean, so good. I'm going to put Madison's socials and her website and the link in bio because description, because this right here is golden. She is golden. So y'all visit, explore her consulting services and options because she is so amazing at what she does. Madison, thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to end here. Thank y'all so much for watching. We shall see y'all soon. Bye.